Hey, what's going on, guys? You know who it is. CGOD, back at you guys once more. So, as you can tell by the title of this video, somehow we done came up on an Escalade. So I did indeed sell the Grand Marquis. I'll post up a quick little video right here. So essentially, I got that one gone. It went to Wichita, Kansas, where the homie there actually had a friend, and the friend is who bought it. But I guess his brother had a clean-ass Grand Marquis back in the 90s, you know? And the same, you know, like little paisa style or whatever you want to call it. He had some 15 by 10s on it, you know? So this guy really wanted it. I think it was going to a good home, so I let him have it. And then shortly after that, I picked up this 2005 Escalade. It's only got 135K on it. And some of you may know, but I'm gonna be having my third child here soon. So drop the congrats in the comments. I really appreciate you guys for that. And yeah, so let's get into it. So pretty much this 2005 Escalade, the gauge cluster is kind of all wonk. So I mean, here's the Esky. But yeah, it's a little wonk, you know, like none of the gauges really work on it, so it's pretty jank. But the truck itself is real clean, 6-liter, all-wheel drive, you know what I mean? It ain't perfect, but it should be a very solid daily for me and my family. And with that being said, boys, I mean, it's kind of dirty, you know, but it is what it is. Yeah, boys, so what we're going to be doing on this one is pretty much I plan on just keeping it kind of stock, you know. It's got all the wood grain trim and stuff, you know, like even the dash up there, kind of hard to see, but it's got wood grain even in the dash, boys. So I mean, like I said, it's pretty clean. Not the cleanest vehicle, but I mean, it'll definitely do me. You know what I mean? It's got the sunroof, third row seating and all that, so I mean, y'all could peep that. Very sick family whip, boys. But yeah, let me hop over to the other side and I'll show you guys what I mean whenever I say that the cluster is wonk. So I mean, we got that Bicla thing too. And if you guys missed the previous video, we just put on these toppers right here. So I mean, make sure to go check that out. They look wicked. The whole bike is sick, you know, but I mean, the toppers just make it that much better. Either way, let's hop up in the Esky. So I mean, you know, she's got the wood grain trim all up in it, you know, all types of options and stuff. All types of wood grain up in here, and it's got a sick ass gauge cluster too. The only thing is the fucking gauges don't work, so it is what it is, guys. But yeah, so we'll hop up in here and kind of show you guys a little bit of what's going on. See, like as you could see, the RPM gauge is currently at 2000 RPM. But yeah, like all the backlighting and stuff all works. For some reason, none of the gauges work though. So I mean, as you can see, our trans temp is through the roof. We've got all the voltage and all the oil pressure. I think the temp gauge sometimes kind of works. Oh, we're playing some slaps. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, we ain't got no gas, and it's got a plethora of lights. The engine light is just for evap, so I'm not too worried about it. But we're probably going to do something about the ABS, the traction control, and the airbag light, you know, because it's kind of ghetto. So we're going to just make it nice, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty nice, you know, bomb, AC, stuff like that. So without further ado, boys, to remove these, they're the cluster anyways, it's pretty simple. It's got this little bezel, and it pretty much just comes off by hand. I think I'll be able to show you. Yeah, so I mean, as you can see, it literally just pops off by hand, and then we'll just continue down the line popping it off. So I mean, it's a real simple process. And then after we remove it, then there's going to be 4 bolts holding in the gauge cluster. So it's pretty much one on each corner, and I believe they're either 7mm or 8mm, but you'll figure it out when you get there, you know. And from there, we have the steering column all the way down already. We'll have to drop the shift lever all the way down into like first gear or something too. But yeah, so I mean, like, look, the truck is on, and like it's like idling at 2000 RPM, which obviously it's not, you know, it's just fucked. So the plan is to change out all the stepper motors and get everything working, and yeah, I would take you guys for a ride, but we got my lady's Jeep back there behind us. So either way, just for your guys' information, the speedometer also does not work. It just stays right there where it's at. So I'm going to continue taking this off. I'll pull the cluster out. After you pull the cluster out, it's got one clip on the back of it. So, I mean, it's pretty simple to remove. And then we'll go on inside and get to replacing these motors, all right? All right, boys. So we pulled the cluster out of the Escalade. It was indeed 7mm bolts for the 4 corners. There, 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 and there. Pretty easy. Now, what we're going to start by doing is we're going to remove the front cover. So pretty much it just has these little clips here. There, there, there. There's a couple all around, and then we're going to do the same with the rear. It also has these little tabs. So, I mean, they come off kind of by hand. We may end up using a screwdriver. Now, I had a kit. Let me see. I think I left it outside, actually. But I had a kit. Yeah, this one here. So this kit here, it includes the 7 stepper motors, as well as the it has a solder sucker and a soldering gun also. But it came with a little orange pool tool to be able to remove the needles. However, I cannot find that, so we're gonna have to come up with something. But yeah, I just can't find it, boys. So that's what we're gonna have to do, is find a different way to get the needles off. So hopefully it's not that big of a deal. Let me go ahead and no, it doesn't have anything to do with that. Let me pull the cluster apart inside, and then I'll bring y'all back. All right. All right, boys. So we made quick work of the covers on the front and the back. These ones here on the bottom of the outer cover, they are indeed pretty hard to be able to undo. Let me see if I can get it focused in on for y'all. Yeah, well, either way, that one and that one there, pretty difficult because you have to kind of go from the inside. They're right here. But yeah, so pretty much what I've done thus far is I got it set up to where I zeroed all the gauges out, and you could kind of feel it, you know, like they only go so far. Like they move easily, and then they'll like stop right there. So we're gonna kind of like mark where that is on all these gauges. So I mean, as you could see if I can get it for you guys, they zero out a little bit below the actual zeros. So what I've seen in other videos is I've seen people like mark it with tape or whatever. So I think I might do that, but I'm gonna just do it kind of simple. I'll go ahead and mark it with a little bit of tape, and then I'll bring you guys back to show you before we try to find a way to get these needles off. They're pretty much just like pressed in, so you got to pull them off somehow. But seeing as how I lost the tool, I'm gonna have to kind of like MacGyver a way up to do it, boys. So yeah. Alright guys, so as you could see, we've got them all the 0 points marked up with tape. So you could kind of see how the end of the gauge needle lines up with the tape, right? That's going to be where we're going to be installing the new needles. Well, not the new needles, but these needles onto the new gauge motors. So from here, we now are going to try to remove the needles. I don't really know exactly how I'm going to do that just yet, but once I start, I'll definitely bring you guys back and let you know how I did it, alright? Alright guys, so as you could see, I've managed to take one of them off, and let me show you my special tool. So I'm using a fork with one of them missing. So essentially, it just slides back in there, and it's pretty much like pressing it off. These bigger ones are kind of... So I'm doing it with one hand, so I mean, kind of difficult. But as you can see, it already pressed it off. And then from here, well, let me get it nice and in focus for you boys. Alright. So it pretty much will just come the rest of the way off. So here you have your needles. Pretty simple procedure, boys. Just out here forking it up, you know. So let me go ahead and run the rest of these off, and then we'll continue the work on the back. Alright, boys? Alright, boys, so here we have the actual gauge cluster. We pulled this piece off, as well as the gauge faces. So pretty much what we're going to do from here, I'm probably going to set this piece back on it so we don't damage anything. And from here we're going to turn it around. So as you could see inside here, like say for the Speedo, it'll be this one here. Kind of tough to focus on it, but either way, so this right here is part of the motor, and there is 4 little pieces of solder, which are probably hard to see, but it's that, and then this one and this one. So essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using our soldering iron here to be able to heat it up. So this was included with the eBay kit. And after it gets heated up, this right here is a desoldering pump. So essentially, you'll heat it up, and then this essentially like sucks up the old solder so that we'll be able to change the motor. So we're gonna get to heating it up, and then you pretty much like set it over the solder, hit this button, and it sucks up. So let me try to do some stuff. Hopefully I don't mess it up, but I'll bring you guys back and let you all know. Alright guys, so the first stepper motor is out right there for the Speedo. That's what she's looking like. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the new one in, and pretty much we just solder in the new one. So here we have it. There it is. So this one I believe went like this. There we go. So our new stepper motor is in. Now we're going to turn it around and burn some solder onto it to make sure it stays in. So yeah, so far it's quite a mission, honestly. But yeah, you could see it has those 4 little prongs coming through. Kind of hard to see, but hopefully you could see. It's got those 4 little prongs, so I'm pretty much just going to splash some solder on there, and we should be good, boys. So let me go ahead and get on that, and I'll bring y'all back. Alright boys, so we got all 7 of the stepper motors knocked out now. I actually ended up not really using the little suction pump bullshit. I pretty much whipped out my Harbor Freight soldering gun, and it worked a lot better than the one that came with the eBay kit. And what I was doing is, like, I mean, hold on, I wonder if you guys can see my soldering jobs here. Kind of hard to see, I bet, but they look pretty legit, low-key. Like, I started getting real nice with it after a while. You can see those 4 right there in the center of the screen. Real nice with it, boys. So pretty much, I would pretty much just like have the gauge face, like I'd have it leaned up straight, and I would apply pressure on the stepper motor, and then just use the soldering gun from the back to heat the solder. And then once you heat it, it would come loose, and then you're able to just pull it off. Worked a lot better than trying to fuck around with this fucking little bullshit ass pump. But I mean, as you can see, here's our old motors, and I have another one over here. I don't really know why, but yeah, so we got all 7 of the new ones changed out. So this is what we're looking like now, boys. All fresh motored up. So from here, we're pretty much just going to start the reassembly. And yeah. So yeah, let me go ahead and start reassembling it. And then like I said, we have our gauge face here that we put the tape on, so we'll know where to put our needles. All the needles are the same aside from the Speedo and the RPM. I don't even know where my needles are at. Oh yeah, they're right there. So yeah, they're all the same aside from those. So it should be pretty easy. I'm going to go ahead and reassemble it, like I said, and then we'll see what's good, boys. Hopefully it fucking works. Alright guys, so we're starting the reassembly. So pretty much we finished everything with the motherboard or whatever you want to call it. Put it back in. I put the back cover on. So now we're just putting this like gauge face plate or whatever you want to call it back on. It kind of snaps in on a couple places. And from here, I'm going to just be lining up the needles and pushing them on as close as I can to the edge of my tape lines. So let me go ahead and get to that, and I'll bring y'all back once it's reassembled. Alright. Alright, brothers, so we're back in the truck, and now we're going to do the true test. Ah, shit. Looks like we got some gas, boys, off the bat. Let's see. Oh, man. Damn, look at that. We got oil pressure. We got voltage. Our tranny temp went up a little bit, up to 100. Our revs don't look all stupid like they did earlier. Let's see how it reacts. Oh, hell, look at our oil pressure moving, boys. Oh, shit. I'm excited, boys. I think we might have done it. I think we might have actually done it, brothers. So, as you can see right here, 135, 972. That is the reason why I didn't want to change the cluster entirely. So, let's go on a little ride, boys. See if we get some movement out of our speedo there. Damn, it's hot in here. I would turn on the AC, but I don't want to distort the sound for y'all. So we should be seeing our temp move up a little bit. Alright, let's see. Damn, the speedo is still dead, boys. What the fuck? That's no good. I wonder what must have happened to it. Huh. No good at all, brothers. I wonder if it's possible that like our actual like speed sensor is out. I don't really know what it reads off of, but our other gauges appear to be working, so I don't think I fucked it up necessarily. Maybe I didn't do like some type of solder correctly. I don't really know. That's kind of sad though. But our speed or everything else is working, boys. No good, man. No good. I don't know what happened. Man. This is what happens whenever you do shit yourself, boys. Let's see if I can give it some speed, you know? See if maybe we just needed to go a certain speed. Nope, she's staying dead zero. This is exactly how it was whenever I first did this. So, who knows? It's not good though, boys. It's not good at all. Man. Well, either way, boys, our temp is moving up now, so everything else appears to be working pretty well. I believe the fuel gauge, I put it a little bit like lower than it's supposed to be, so it probably has a little bit more gas than that, but it'll appear to be low whenever it's not that low, so it'll help to save the fuel pump by doing that. Damn, brothers. I don't know, maybe I didn't solder it well enough in the back. I might take it back apart and see about soldering it again. Maybe we just didn't solder it correctly. But, yeah. So, I guess I'm going to go ahead and pull it back out, and I'm going to make sure it's soldered correctly on that speed sensor, or on the speedometer one. Because, I mean, that was like whenever I was the very first one that I did. So everything else looks very good. So hopefully it's just that I didn't solder it enough, you know? Like maybe it's just not making contact or something. So who knows? You know, we'll see. Hopefully that's all it is though. If I get it to work, then this won't be the end of the video and I'll bring you guys back to show you. However, if it's just fucked, then this is going to be it, boys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're out here trying to do new things every day. So, I'll catch you on the next one. Later. Alright, guys. So, in the end, I ended up fixing the cluster the correct way. So, let me show you what I did. So, pretty much, as you can see, this is what I've done. I removed that thing, and instead, I just shipped it over to the homie Zach Malanzi over at Gaugeworks. So, I mean, if it'll focus, there you have it, boys. Sent him the cluster. He said it needs a new power supply because, as you guys had seen, well, I mean, you can't see anymore, but the speedo still didn't work, and I think that was an error due to my work. I'm not 100% sure, but pretty much what he told me is that I needed a new power supply, because I don't know if I told you guys in the beginning of the video, but the entire gauge cluster would just die. Like, the whole thing would just die out. So he said I needed a new power supply. I believe him, so sent it over to him, and he's pretty much going to go through, fully rebuild it, put LED backlighting, and repair or replace anything that it needs. So yeah, guys, shout out to him. I'll go ahead and leave his info down in the description. Make sure to check him out. He does a lot of badass work. He actually made a custom cluster for my red truck as well, so y'all will be seeing that eventually. But yeah, boys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm out for real this time. Later.